Welcome one and all, my name is Chris and I will be your digital tech trainer for this tutorial video. Today's topic is USB flash drives. We are going to cover 7 main points. What is a USB flash drive? Longevity, counterfeit products, common malicious practices, common general uses, pros and cons, and how to correctly use a USB flash drive. So, what exactly is a USB flash drive? First off, a brief side note on naming, so that everyone knows just what we are discussing here. The phrase USB flash drive is the most commonly used name for the following devices pictured. However, since the near ubiquitous nature of these devices within our societies in modern times, they have appropriated quite a long list of alternative names, such as flash disk, clip drive, jump drive, keychain drive, pen drive, stick drive, thumb drive, vault drive, data stick, flash stick, gig stick, zip stick, disk key, disk on a key, flash drive, memory stick, USB fob, USB key, USB stick, or USB memory, among probably hundreds more. Put simply, a USB flash drive is a data storage device that uses flash memory storage and an attached USB interface for connection. USB referring to Universal Serial Bus, the icon shown here, which is a technological standard across many devices that establishes specifications for cables and connectors for use in communication, connections, and power supply for and between computers, their peripherals, and other electronic devices, such as cell phones and tablets. USB flash drives are typically removable, rewritable, and much smaller than a CD or DVD, and even external hard drives. Most USB flash drives weigh less than 30 grams or 1 ounce, and range in storage sizes of anywhere from 256 megabytes to 256 gigabytes where frequently sold. Most common models often come in 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, or 64 gigabyte versions. As of 2018, however, 512 gigabyte and 1 or 2 terabyte variants are becoming more frequent and are the largest available in terms of storage capacity. Furthermore, it is worth noting that as with most storage devices, the actual capacity is below what their rating should be. Typically, this is because most USB flash drives come with some software pre-installed. Along with all other forms of storage media, the prices are continually dropping as storage capacities continue to increase. In terms of functionality, most modern laptops have at least 3 USB ports for receiving these devices, and other USB connections. Typically, a pair of USB 2 ports on one side and a USB 3 port on the other, the USB 3 being capable of faster data transfer speeds. External USB hubs are also available for providing more connection points for multiple devices. I'm sure it goes without saying that USB flash drives can come in a wide variety of colors, shapes, tools, and knickknacks. Next, let's look at some comments about the longevity of these devices. USB flash drives are commonly expected to last between 10 and 100 years under normal circumstances or shelf life storage time. However, many users caution that with normal service use, a time frame of 7 to 10 years is most likely. The USB flash drive's compact size is an asset in that it is portable, but is also the device's greatest liability, and that it can easily be misplaced and lost. Taking a USB drive to school, work, or on a business trip can be hazardous. These devices are frequently left in shared public computers, photo kiosks, printing devices, etc., after owners forget to pull them out or eject after they have finished their work. Even around your home, these devices can turn up missing. In terms of physicality, a USB flash drive is more fragile due to its small size, drops, including in water, getting crushed by heavy objects, and even ingestion by larger pets are among some perils for these devices. The USB connector head itself is often quoted as able to withstand only around 1,500 insert-remove cycles. In terms of software, most people don't realize the memory in flash drives is usually engineered for around 3,000 to 5,000 program erase cycles. That means data being saved on, deleted, and other data being saved over the same location. But some memory chips allow up to 100,000 write and erase cycles, depending if it uses multi-cell or single-cell based memory. USB flash drives can be defragmented. There is a widespread opinion that defragmenting brings little advantage, as there is no mechanical head that moves from fragment to read or write, as with a standard hard drive, and that defragmenting shortens the life of the drive by making many unnecessary writes. However, some sources claim that defragmenting a flash drive can improve performance, mostly due to improved caching of clustered data, and the additional wear on flash drives may not be significant. I know it's not fun to think about, so we'll cover some of the negatives first. Let's look at counterfeit products in terms of USB flash drives. Counterfeit USB flash drives are sometimes sold with claims of having higher capacities than they actually have. These are typically low-capacity USB drives whose flash memory controller firmware is modified so that they emulate larger capacity drives. For example, a 2GB drive being marked as a 64GB drive. When plugged into a computer, they report themselves as being the larger capacity they were sold as, but when data is written to them, either the write fails, the drive freezes up, or it overwrites existing data. Software tools exist to check and detect fake USB drives, and in some cases it is possible to repair these devices to remove the false capacity information and use its real storage limit. These can be found often online and sometimes with well-known brands. Another topic we must consider is the common malicious practices that some people use flash drives in. Why are there USB drives sticking out of the walls of some New York buildings? Someone might ask. According to the website Inhabit.com and several major news outlets, citizens and tourists of New York, as well as several other cities throughout North America and Europe, are coming across these dead drops based on a project originally started by Berlin-based artist Aram Barthol. Though still relatively uncommon, these suspicious, yet curious devices have been acting as an anonymous peer-to-peer file-sharing network in cities since 2010. More recently, geocaching groups have also caught on to this fad as a way of leaving clues in the form of files for a variety of scavenger hunts. The problem is individuals are now planting these with malware inside, either replacing originals or using duplicates nearby in a more visible location. Speaking of plants, remember when I mentioned USB flash drives are prone to being lost? Well, sometimes they are lost intentionally. This is known as a drop attack, whereby a cybercriminal leaves a USB flash drive in a well-planned public place for anyone to find, hoping a good Samaritan is looking to return it to the owner. A company employee will insert it into a business work terminal, or a cheapskate thinks they have found a new device for free. Regardless, they are waiting for you to insert the found flash drive to a USB port so your troubles can begin. Drop attack USBs can often have writing on them, like confidential, final exam, or personal. They can come carrying tags with partial personal information. They may have keys, key rings, trinkets, or even pins attached to make them more attractive to be picked up and look more innocuous. These drop attacks even go so far as to have prepared files done up with appropriate names, documents, and even pictures pulled off the internet to entertain victims and lull them into a false sense of security or appeal to their curiosity. Drop attacks come in three alternative forms. First is the USB drive-by. Here, a criminal shadows a person in a public space, often with a laptop, who is already logged in and working. Targets can alternatively be work terminals in large commercial chain stores, or public use terminals at airports, hotels, or libraries. Once the owner moves away from their computer and leaves it unguarded, whether by chance or design, washroom breaks, ordering food at food courts, or an accomplice creating a distraction. Then, the perpetrator swoops in and plugs in a USB drive with malicious software, sometimes leaving it behind, other times not. Once plugged in, it begins to imitate a keyboard and uses macros, a series of simulated keyboard keystrokes, mouse actions, or menu actions that are bound to a single command, thereby disabling firewalls, opening back doors to allow remote control entry, and tells network monitoring apps that everything is okay. This method is also called HID, or Human Interface Device Spoofing. It is claimed perpetrators often wear these on chain necklaces for speed of delivery. A second method is the key sweeper. Disguised as a USB wall charger common to many devices, the key sweeper variant is superbly camouflaged, using wireless connections to identify and spy on local Microsoft wireless keyboards. By monitoring keystrokes, key sweepers can quickly obtain logging details and transmit these back to remote locations. Instead, victims could also attempt to charge a device from these nasty gadgets, later finding that a phone or tablet is no longer working correctly or has given away personal information. Another sophisticated form of the drop attack is the bad USB, which is similar to counterfeits, but still functions as a USB flash drive with the correct storage. Originally, this started in stores with criminals reselling, sometimes in original branded packaging, a USB flash drive with malicious software piggybacked on board. The aim of these bad USBs, wherever they are found, is to impersonate your keyboard via macros to allow itself to reprogram firmware associated with your existing USB devices, namely keyboards, mice, network cards, plugged-in phones, webcams, or otherwise. These allow these devices to become easier vectors for further attack into a computer. Other times, these USBs can be reprogrammed to send or direct users to sites containing malicious software, which can soon infect your entire network, track purchases, or hand over login credentials. Yet more take you to sites that impersonate Google, Facebook, or other trusted destinations. It is also worth mentioning other tactics that have come to light but aren't widely utilized. BBC News has reported Australians being mailed unmarked USB keys with malware pre-installed. In another case, an individual received a package, allegedly from Best Buy, with a loyalty reward in the form of a fake $50 gift card. In the envelope was a USB drive claiming to contain a list of products eligible for purchase using the gift card. Authorities have also reported USB drives being inserted into bank ATMs, capable of siphoning the customer's card data in PINs. Whatever the case, be wary of what you decide to plug into your electronics, and watch out when using shared public devices. Enough about the bad stuff. Let's look at some of the common general uses for USB flash drives. USB flash drives are most often used for personal data transport, moving stored personal files, such as documents, pictures, and videos, from point A to point B. Typically this means from home to a workplace, school, or university, and sometimes to friends or family. Long-term storage is another well-intended use by individuals who wish to keep backup copies of the above files, but also store medical information on flash drives for emergencies and disaster preparation. For example, a house fire. Sometimes, length of storage isn't the goal, but security is. There are some encryption methods that work better on flash memory. But secure storage can also mean keeping files off networks or computers entirely, and unplugged within USB drives in a safe, vault, or predetermined location. Booting operating systems from a USB flash drive is commonly permitted with most PC firmware. These devices are known as live USBs. Other similar special purpose applications include maintenance tasks like virus scanning or low-level data and program repair without the main operating system being loaded. Bootstrapping an operating system or disk cloning operations are also possible. Perhaps you own an MP3 player at home or similar digital audio player. Did you know some of these are just glorified USB flash drives with sound output and a simple user interface? Examples include the creative Muvo, Philips Go Gear, and the first generation iPod Shuffles, just to name a few. Some of the newer players are true USB flash drives, as well as music players. Others do not support general-purpose data storage. Brand product promotion is also a thing with USB keys, as they can be relatively cheap to produce and give away in smaller storage denominations. I know that was a lot to take in, so let's quickly summarize the pros and cons. In summary, USB flash drives use little power, have no fragile moving parts, and are small and light. Data stored is impervious to mechanical shock, magnetic fields, scratches, and dust, making them suitable for transporting data from place to place and keeping the data readily at hand. Flash drives also store data densely compared to many other media and are designed for universal use, so most operating systems can read and write to them without installing device drivers. Yet, USBs are quite oftentimes misplaced or lost. They sometimes contain sensitive data, which can be both a security risk or boon. They can be questionably robust, the USB tip simply being soldered on, creating an easily broken stress point, or simply failing in itself, of frequent use. USBs are easily crushed or vanquished in small depths of water, and commonly enough employed in a variety of malicious uses, often in innocuous ways. Like all flash memory devices, they can sustain only a limited number of read and write cycles before the drive fails. And although storage capacity is increasing and prices going down, USB flash drives are still more expensive per unit storage than large hard drives, but are less expensive in capacities of few tens of gigabytes. Lastly, such devices have been used to skirt laws in other manners. I will leave it to you, the viewer, to decide the pro-con nature of such actions. However, the New York-based Human Rights Foundation once collaborated with the groups Forum 280 and USB Memory Direct to launch the Flash Drives for Freedom program. This program, created in 2016, aimed to smuggle USB keys with American and South Korean movies and television shows, as well as a copy of the Korean Wikipedia, into North Korea to spread pro-Western sentiment. We have one final major topic to discuss: how to correctly use a USB flash drive. This is a bit of a pet peeve of mine as a gadget guru, because it's one of the number one ways people end up corrupting and losing some of their files. The number one reason for data loss when using a USB flash drive is when a user removes the device incorrectly from the computer. The usual result is file system damage, corrupted files, or a USB that needs to be reformatted to work. But the physical device is not actually damaged and can be used again down the road. But in some rare cases, the unsafe removal can also damage the physical cells used for memory storage, which hold the internal flash drive information, and cannot be accessed or repaired by operating systems. To extract information after this kind of failure, you need help from a data recovery services professional. For this reason, it is very important to safely remove the device from the system and never unplug a USB flash drive while it is reading or writing information. Here's how to eject USB devices and memory cards in Mac OS. First, click on the Finder icon at the bottom left of the screen. It's typically the leftmost icon on the dock. Second, eject external hard drives, memory cards, and more by clicking on the Eject icon next to the name of the device in the Finder window. Third, as with most functions on a computer, there are alternative means. You could drag the USB flash drive device icon to the trash on the desktop, or right-click on the icon and select Eject. Both methods will successfully eject the media. And as a final note, if not ejected properly, your Mac often will give a warning statement as a reminder. How to eject USB devices and memory cards in Windows. Step 1. The quickest way to eject a USB drive, SD card, external hard drive, or other device using flash memory on Windows is to find the USB icon in your system tray at the bottom right of your desktop, close to the clock. It may require you to click on a little upwards arrow button to find it. Step 2. Simply right-click on this icon and select the phrase Eject blank, the blank space being the name of your USB flash drive. Often, you will see the drive letter corresponding to the USB present as well. This might be F, G, H, or otherwise. For older versions of Windows, this may look slightly different, as shown here. If completed successfully, Windows often gives the user a pop-up message with the following statement: safe to remove hardware, followed by the USB mass storage device can now be safely removed from the computer. In some instances, if your USB is named, it will also give the name of the USB device and the drive letter that was assigned to it. As with all storage media, the best possible way to avoid disaster is to frequently back up all important data. Don't depend on one USB flash drive alone for storage of important files. Leave copies on multiple devices or several flash drives, and preferably in different locations. Without a backup, a single point of failure in any one device can lead to irretrievable data loss. Well, I hope you found this video both informative and useful. That's all for me for today. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, please share it and pass it on. Hopefully we will have more future tutorials covering a variety of different technological devices and topics made available. As always, I'm Chris, and safe journeys.